triumphs over evil. And I want you to remember this, that love true love never dies. Remember that, boy.
Hi, humanity. Welcome to my channel. This is where we study the 12 laws of mind. And they are law, they're principle. They work for all, are always working, and never deviate. You can use a scientific method to prove it to yourself if you don't believe it. It's principle. But it also, gives you freedom. And the patrons get a poll every week, and there was no clear winner this week. And we had a new patron join us. Hi, Andrea. Welcome. And she had seen one of my videos and was asking, would I stay? What the meek inheriting the earth is going to be like. So the meek inheriting the earth, everything here is a manifestation of what's going on in the mind of God and man. God went into man. He gave his imagination, his creative force to man. This happened in the big flood, where everything got rewritten. And so then the man and his imagination learned to walk together and learn that they're intimately involved. And then comes Joshua, or Jesus, the Christ. These are states of consciousness that each one of us wears, okay, in our own lives. And it's a frame. It's a state of consciousness. They actually never walked the earth, but people who thought like that did walk the earth. So today, the manifestation is democracies. There's, many, many, many different kinds of democracies and all kinds of flavors around the world, right? And this really started happening around the world after World War II. That was the end of the battle, okay? And then the baby got born, all right? And that was the love child. So these democracies have been developing, and now we're into it, into the spiritual warfare going on here. Now this is one of the lines from Psalm 37. That's a perfect psalm for you to read. It's great for when there's times of trouble, or, like we're seeing now, because they're tightening the screw. Objective man is tightening the screw. Now, who's objective man? Authority, George Soros and companies, all those GMOs. Okay, they know these laws, and they've always known them. And all of authority throughout time and space has known them. Okay, but they kept it to themselves. They were the educated ones. They could read. And then when the Gutenberg Bible got made with the printing press, the Bible went out everywhere. And we had an enlightenment. We had bubonic plague, which left not enough, slaves for the authority. So the authority had to start paying them and giving them some privileges. So, and it's only grown from there, the Magna Carta, and that's kind of funny because it's like, Richard's like, well, I didn't really mean it. And the people look at him, well, we did. So they go down this road. They've made these clubs, GMOs, and wrapped it around their ego, and we're going to shape the world into the way we want it. And they're perverted. They don't believe in God. They think they're God. All right, that's what they think. They either have never been aware of the law of one, or they've been aware of it and ignored it, or, they just really think they're doing the right thing. certain people know these laws and use them against you. For example, it's worked for a long time. Hate the rich, make them pay. They got to pay their fair share. Blah, 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 blah. Those evil oil companies. No. If they can get you to hate the rich, if they can get you to hate the oil companies and the gas companies and all those things, they know these laws. Okay? If you send out thoughts that malign others, the ones you send the thoughts to get richer, okay, and you get poorer. That's what it is. Okay, you're a whipping boy. All right, don't you just hate those rich? And they're the rich. Okay, do you see the pattern? They are the rich, saying hate the rich, hate the rich, hate the rich, hate the rich, hate it. Go ahead. Come on. Fucking rich people, they're getting rich. And you're getting poor. They know these laws. Okay, and they've been using them against you so that you would stay poor. All right? But when the Bible got out and everyone had a copy and they're reading it, and then there's guys like William Shakespeare who snaps to all of this. Okay, he asks for understanding, he gets it, and he starts writing, baby. And he rewrites the whole Bible in his plays and sonnets. Okay, his sonnets are another way of saying the Psalms, and his plays are another way of saying the entire Bible. To be or not to be, that is the question. All's well that ends well. So they all got a Bible in their hand, and then they got inundated by guys like William Shakespeare, and the queen couldn't help herself. She loved him. He loved her. We're not talking sexual. That's small-minded, low-minded thinking. They loved each other. She loved his work. She got it too. I'm not going to marry a man. I'm married to my duty, my country, to believe in the best of them, and of course, you saw the torturous sides of everything and the things they had to do. This was our battle. This has been our battle to democracy. Okay, now everybody can vote. Everybody has a say. Okay, this is the meek inheriting the earth. All of us working together as one. And the only way all of us can work together as one, if all of us together as one suffer some great pain. And that's the 4 horsemen. All right? And you're witnessing them. Okay? And they've been pounding on you for a while. Watch out for terrorists. Well, guess what you're imagining? Transportation safety. Guess what you're imagining? I don't need you to keep me safe. And that's rude, thank you very much. You don't get to look at my body. I didn't say you could. What's the matter with you? Why do the rest of us all have to suffer because one man did something stupid? How about you do something with the one man? Leave the rest of us alone. People start feeling the pinch. No, you can't save me, all right? You can't. And this save the children from gun violence. Excuse me, guns are inanimate objects. They can't be violent. Have some common sense, will you? And stop treating the rest of us like we're stupid. See, these people know these laws. And they're the ones who go around saying, well, they're just stuffed animals. They're just tin soldiers. You don't pay attention to that. No, you're not really comprehending. Okay? They are people. They are vessels for God. God's inside them. They're an individual, whole and complete. They have a God in their heart. Every single one of them. Okay? So you err on the side of love and you forgive them for being perverts. It was in the book. Somebody had to play the role. Okay? I don't wish that on anybody, but somebody had to do it. So you forgive them. And the meek know there's a God. Know He's a whole and complete being. Know that He loves them and watches over them. Knows. He knows. They believe there's a being. The other side believes it's them. And they just got together with a bunch of people like them. Okay? And some of them think, you know, I'm a child of God. I can do anything I want. Get away with it. Okay? Well, you can. To a point. You know? But when enough of the meek cry out, Father, I can't stand this. I don't know what to do. My back's against the wall. You know, help me. And that's that, you know, you're just crying out, help me. That's a command. Help me. God is with me now. He's an ever-present help in trouble. Thank you, Father, for helping me. I'm handing this burden over to the Christ, and I'm not thinking about this anymore. You know, and you believe in this being, okay? That's making your heart sing. He's whole and complete right there. You see Him. You recognize Him. You love Him. And He's just been recognizing you and loving you and giving you everything you want. And at last you see Him. You recognize Him. Okay? This is the meek inheriting the earth. So what happens is the meek stop bitching that they want the government to create term limits. Okay, we're done. We're just going to vote your ass out. You had a turn. See ya. You know? And they're going to make judgments, righteous judgments. He comes back and actually has meetings, not Zoom meetings, but meetings where we look in each other's eyes and shake hands and we talk to each other. And he's listening. I can tell he's listening, you know. And you know what he says? He says, it doesn't matter what I believe. The only thing I can promise you is I will set aside my beliefs. I will come here. I will listen to you. I will represent you. And I will vote according to the majority and how they believe. Not what I believe, what you believe. So it doesn't matter what I believe. I'm here to represent. And that's what they're going to start listening for. And if they don't get it, it's going to be a forever revolving door for politicians. Oh, he's had a turn. They're still not saying it. He's had a turn. Hey, he said it. I'm voting for him. You know, and they're not going to care if it's Democrat or Republican. They're not. Or Libertarian or anything else. Who's saying they will come represent? And who's saying, if I become president, I will. Bye. Okay. I'm going to put us back into the climate accord. Bye. You know? No. It's not a choice between a turd sandwich and a douche. Okay? That's pretty funny South Park because they called it. God works in our creative juju. And this is why Simpsons did it, and you see South Park has been, for lack of a better term, prophesying all this stuff. But what's going to happen is, and it's already started, you had to hurt everybody. And you had to get perverted, and you had to get, you know, prideful and full of hubris. All of them. And they have now. They've sent pestilence, illness. Okay, they've sent, you know, financial disaster. They've sent all of it all at once, right now. Turn away. Okay? Oil and gas is good, and we have it in plenty. okay? And it's not a fossil fuel. It's just how carbon gets made under pressure. You know, what happens to it. When it's underground and under pressure, it becomes oil, then it becomes coal, then it becomes diamonds. Under pressure. Ooh, ooh. That's us. That's us. So if you hate on the carbon, you're hating on yourself. And if they really wanted to do something about it, if they were very sincere about it, they'd be encouraging planting trees. They don't give a shit about that. They want their souped up golf carts. You know, I don't have to worry about gas. No, you have to worry about charging stations and you want me to pay for it, and screw you. Okay? I like oil and gas. It's wonderful. I like coal. It's wonderful too. We have all kinds of ways we can use it with filters and stuff, keeps our air clean. I don't know what you're talking about. You people are crazy. You're supposed to light up the world with this. It says so in the Bible. Yeah, come on, man. Get over yourself. You know? You don't cut your nose to spite your face. I don't care what you want. I don't care about your climate shit. You know? This is righteous judgment. Okay? You're sick puppy trying to force the world to be the way you want it to be. And I didn't agree to that. You know? Ever since Obama agreed to that and came back, has been trying to shove it down our throats. He won't let us vote on it because he knows. We'll tell him, screw you. That's why Biden knows that. You know, Trump comes into office, we're not going to do that shit. He knows the laws too. That's why they went crazy and started calling him a traitor and started attacking him and slandering him. Don't listen to him. Don't listen to him. Don't listen to him. You know, because he knows the laws. He knows what they're doing. He's been a Democrat most of his life. You know? And he's a good man with a good heart. And he's always been that way. He learned this as a child. You know? And I don't care what anybody has to say about it. He has a good heart and always has. So the way this ends is Trump becomes the wise man and tells everyone, you know, it's about the message, not the messenger. You know, I would love to be your president again, but it's more important that the message get across than who brings it. I'm not going to be here forever, and it needs to be cemented in, you know, that we're not going to allow this kind of thinking in our government. You serve the people. They don't serve you, you know, which has been apparent in their responses, withholding money from the people, a measly $1,600, while they gave themselves a $50,000 raise. You know, what? You know, there's all kinds of wacky stuff. You can go watch 2,000 Mules. This ends now, and they know it. They can feel it. Come November, they're going to be demolished. But they're going to be demolished by good-hearted people who serve the people, like Joe Manchin. Okay? He knows he has to look at the people he lives with because he goes and visits them. He sees them. He's one of them. Okay? The others have set themselves apart and stayed in Washington. You know, and stayed in their lofty places. They don't get their feet dirty. And they don't care about the people who clean up after them. They're just stuffed animals. So this is where it's going. And no, we're not stuffed animals. Now what are you going to do? Because they woke up too. Okay? We're into this too. We know these laws. Yeah, but we got one up on you. I got a superhero. Yeah. His name is I Am. And that's how I call him. This is admiring and respecting the God in your heart. And they do not do that. They think when they say I am, they're God. And they're not. The Son's great, but the Father's great. And this is us living through the promise. That's what's going on. You're living through the promise. Okay? The autistic children of the world, that's what they label them, are going to inherit the earth. And it's all going to run perfectly. And it's all going to be great. You know? And the meek inheriting their earth is the formation of democracy, and then how democracy rights itself because they were given power and they abused the power. So now the people take the power back and they never give it back to them again. And because they've learned, and in a horrible way, COVID, the four horsemen, and they will tell their children, okay? And their children will tell their children, and they will tell their children, okay? How the man tried to put the screw on, and we fell for it. We let ourselves be locked up for a long time, but then we got sick of it and said, no, we're not going to live like this. This is nothing but a fucking cold. It's what it turns out to be, breaking the trust with man. And they did it quite horribly. No one listens to the broadcast media anymore. Nobody listens to anything coming out of Joe Biden's mouth. Nobody listens to anything coming out of Nancy Pelosi's mouth or Chuck Schumer's mouth, Maxine Waters. All these people are trying to incite violence, trying to get others to hate on each other. No, everybody knows. That gets you nothing. Okay? Everyone loves each other. You're not going to convince me that my neighbor is a sick puppy. Okay? No, I'm not going to believe that. They're very few and far between, and I'm calling them out. Okay? I am calling them out. I give life and I take it away by asking my Father to take it away. And I do that through forgiveness. Okay? You don't abuse your power. You call out the sick puppy shit and say, no more. You're blameless and free. I forgive you without distinction. You know, that's wrong. You know, whatever it is. And we see quite a bit of that now today. So call it out. I don't think so. Nobody thinks like that. And it's the tables have turned. They really have. You know, and the meek are rising up. And you get movies like 2,000 Mules, which is just a beautiful Sherlock Holmes, stepping through it, using their own tools against them to prove what they've been doing. And it's not evidence, it's proof. Okay? You cannot deny it. And so this is a further break in the trust, but it's a further confidence in self that, I knew it. I knew it. And you'll see that there are good-hearted people who really thought they were doing good, and now they're singing a new tune. Okay? You welcome them back. They're the prodigal son. Okay? The journalists who've always really wanted to be journalists, but they were doing what their boss told them to do, and they thought they were doing the right thing, and then no, I can't do that anymore. Look at them. They're hurting everybody. And I ask them about it, and they don't want to talk to me about it. And this is, gathering up the last ones. Okay? And everybody is suffering. And the WEF doesn't even bother hiding their intentions anymore. And that's where Justin Trudeau ran off to for 3 days, pretending he got exposed to COVID before he came back, so he could do what his master tells him. You keep forgiving them until God tells you don't bother. Okay, you don't throw pearls before swine. It's taken care of. And okay, and you just don't anymore. And then you'll be shown. And you'll be shown, look, he's falling. And look, he's falling. And look, he's falling. And this really got gearing up with the freedom convoys. They had to stop that in its tracks. So they pulled out Ukraine and Russia. What a bunch of bunk. You know, sorry. Two birds of a feather, they flock together. I don't give a damn. You know, I really don't. Ukraine, poke the bear. I don't feel sorry for you. You asked for it. You know, why is it okay for you to poke the bear and not expect to get your ass bitten? Deal with it. Next time I suggest you treat your neighbor with some respect before you go breaking agreements. All right? And the rest of you in your righteous heart, oh, I'm joining NATO. You made me do this, Russia. Kiss my ass. Nobody's making you do anything. You joined in because you chose to. I'd watch who you choose to be friends with, buddy boy. That's what, you know. They're all great organizations, you know, in a sense, but not if you're going to go around and use it as a pretense. You know, it's just, sorry, like biting on tinfoil. So I hope this helps. You know, it's important to understand that the UN itself is good, okay? It's the people in it that have done poorly. And because they're chosen to go there, you know, that comes back to the individual governments, okay? And in America, they're about to get slapped upside the head like you wouldn't believe. And Canada is right behind America. You know, Mexico already went through this. And they've come out of it. And they're starting to smell like a rose. And we're all going to join in together. Okay? All of us. And these three, Mexico, Canada, and the United States, you know, are going to work together to bring about a good prosperity here at home, and then they can help push that out to the rest of the world. But you take care of yourself first, because if you aren't happy and you don't love yourself, how are you going to make anybody else happy, much less love them? You can't. Okay, if you don't love you, you can't love anybody else. You think they're stupid for loving you because you don't love you. Okay, so don't love yourself, admire and respect yourself. God chose you, his highest form of creation, to work this battle out. And this is a spiritual battle. It's a spiritual battle. They think they're God, and you know God is whole and complete in your heart. He's a being. You may not be able to see him, you know, but he's still a being. You can feel him. He's a force. You know, so this is our superhero in our corner. It's going to come out and lead us righteously. You know, the meek, the ones who've been taking all this bullshit, you know, and they're the ones who are now in charge. They're taking their power back. They're taking their freedom back. So I hope this helps. Blessings to you. And thank you. Thank you for being you. If you want me to go into more, just let me know. It's just this is a favorite topic, and I do tend to get verbose about it. Thanks for watching. Blessings to you.
You do not act like an angel.
I want to tell you something.
I don't want to know anything.
I hate beans.
What? You are a disgrace.
I'd rather have steak.
Sometimes I think you're just making fun of me.
Cuidado! Not bad, not bad.